Good morning students. In this video we are going to have the second part explanation of the chapter The Pickwick Club. Let's recall what we have learnt in first part. The main character of the story which grabbed the attention of the reader is Mr. Pickwick and his nature of noting down the facts about the peoples or the things which he used to see. There was a Pickwick Club. Once all members decided to send Mr. Pickwick with his three friends on journey so that they will get some facts for their entertainment. They asked the members, means the Mr. Pickwick, to post all the facts time to time to the club. Now let's continue with our second part reading from page number 21. Scientists thought Mr. Pickwick should not just look at things closest to them. They should look deeper and discover the truth hidden beyond. Mr. Pickwick had thought his first scientific thought of the day. He then got dressed and put some clothes into his travelling bag. 10 minutes later, he caught a cab to the courtyard at Golden Cross. That was where he had arranged to meet the other three. So students, on 13th May 1827, when Mr. Pickwick wake up and looking out the window, he had his first scientific thought, and within 10 minutes he got ready with his travelling bag and took a carriage drawn by horses to the Golden Cross, where he has to meet the other three members of his with whom he is going to start his journey. Next, on the way there, he talked to the cab driver. "How old is that horse, my friend?" Mr. Pickwick asked. 42, the man replied. "What?" said Mr. Pickwick in surprise. "Some horses live to be 20, a few reach 30, but Mr. Pickwick had never heard of a horse that was over 40 years old before. He quickly pulled his notebook from his pocket. As students, we already learnt about the nature of Mr. Pickwick, that he used to gather the informations about everything he met or he saw. So, on his way, he started asking questions to the driver, carriage driver, and asked him how old the horse is. The man replied 42 years. Mr. Pickwick was very surprised, as he never heard a horse age above 40 years. So, he noted down in his notebook. "How long do you keep him working each trip?" 2 or 3 weeks, said the cab driver. "Weeks?" repeated the astonished Mr. Pickwick. Now, here, under the influence of his nature of asking questions, Mr. Pickwick asked another question to the cab driver. "How much time the horse work?" He asked his question as he was surprised by the age of the horse. The cab driver replied for his question that the horse worked for weeks, on which again Mr. Pickwick was surprised. Let's continue with our reading. "Yes," said the cab driver, "we hardly ever take him home because of his weakness." "His weakness?" "He always falls down when we take him out of the cab. But when he is in it, we tie him in very tight so he can't fall down. And as we have 2 nice big wheels on the cab, when he does not move, the wheels run after him and push him forward. He must go on. He can't help it." Mr. Pickwick was astonished, but he thought it was very interesting too. He carefully wrote down every word in his notebook. When Mr. Pickwick was surprised that the horse worked for weeks, the cab driver told him the secret, that as the horse is too weak, so he rarely take him home. Again, Mr. Pickwick was surprised. If the horse is too weak, then how he works? The driver told him that if they will take the horse out of the coach, he fell down due to his weakness, and so they tie the horse so tightly in the coach that with the support and pressure created by the 2 wheels, he able to work. Students, it's just like that. If we feel weak, we can't able to walk alone. But if anyone give us support or push us, we able to walk in the same way the 40-year-old horse work. And Mr. Pickwick found it very interesting, and so he noted down again this fact in his notebook. Let's continue. The tall, thin young man. Just as Mr. Pickwick finished writing his notes, the cab arrived at the Golden Cross courtyard. The cabman jumped out. Mr. Pickwick got out. Mr. Pickwick's three friends who were waiting for him there came to greet him. Greet means welcome him. Now students, we reached to the next plot of the story. The tall, thin young man. So the cab reached to the place, that is the Golden Cross courtyard. The driver and the Mr. Pickwick got out. Three friends of Mr. Pickwick welcomed him as it was decided that they will meet there. Next, Mr. Pickwick paid the cabman. The cabman threw the money down onto the ground. Mr. Pickwick was surprised. The cabman said he wanted to fight him. Now, when Mr. Pickwick paid the driver, he threw the money on the ground and said that he wanted to fight with him. On listening this, Mr. Pickwick was again surprised. Why he want to fight with me? Next, you are mad, Mr. Snodgrass said to the cabman. Or drunk, said Mr. Winkle. Or both, said Mr. Tracy Tupman. The three friends of Mr. Pickwick also surprised why the driver want to fight, and they started shouting on cab driver. Mr. Snodgrass said, are you mad? Mr. Winkle said to him, are you drunk? And Mr. Tracy Tupman, he asked him whether you are mad or drunk both. Next. Come on then, said the cabman, waving his fists about and beginning to dance around them. Come on then, I will fight all four of you at once. 6 or 7 other cabmen crowded around to see what was happening. They had smiles on their faces. They thought they were going to see some fun. Here, after inviting Mr. Pickwick for fight, the cab driver started making his body moves, waving his face and saying that he is going to fight all 4 people at a time. The other cab drivers in the courtyard makes a crowd to see what is happening, to have an entertainment. Students, maybe you all have this experience that whenever you will see any fight on the road, the people's gathered there to have fun. So, what's the trouble? One of them asked. Spies, said the cabman. The old one asked me a lot of questions. He wrote down everything I said. Then he tried to get these others to start a fight with me. But I will teach them all a lesson. I will. Then from the gathered peoples one asked, what's the matter? Why you want to fight? The cabman said, these peoples are spies. Spies means the one who wants to know the secrets. Okay. The old man asked me lots of questions and note down my answers. These 3 are his friends. No matter how many are they, I will teach them a lesson. The cabman was getting angry. Next. The angry cabman attacked. First, he knocked Mr. Pickwick's glasses off. Then he hit Mr. Pickwick on the nose and again on the chest. Then he hit Mr. Snodgrass in the eye and Mr. Tupman in the waistcoat. After that, he danced out onto the road. Then he danced back onto the path and threw himself at Mr. Winkle, knocking all the breath out of his body. Here, the angry cabman driver, he started attacking them one by one. First, he knocked the glasses off from Mr. Pickwick and hit him on his nose and chest. Then he hit the eye of Mr. Snodgrass and waistcoat of Mr. Tupman. Then he moved back and threw himself forcefully at Mr. Winkle. See the book. You will be sorry you did this, said Mr. Pickwick, lying on the ground, his face red with anger. On all this, Mr. Pickwick got very angry and warned cab driver that it is not good and you have to be sorry for it. Just then, a tall, thin young man arrived. What is all the fun then? Asked the young man. Police spies, shouted the crowd. We are not, shouted Mr. Pickwick just as loudly. When all this was going on, a tall, thin young man he came and asked, what is happening here? The crowd replied to him that these all are police spies, on which Mr. Pickwick replied loudly, we are not the spies of police. Next. Well, I believe you, the young man called out to Mr. Pickwick. He pushed his way through the crowd. Now, cabman, he said, Stop all this nonsense. Take your money. I know this gentleman well. The young man said he believed Mr. Pickwick. He said that he is not an spy and asked cab driver to stop all the fights and take his money, whatever he is giving, and leave the place. He told him he knew Mr. Pickwick very well. Mr. Pickwick was surprised yet again. He had never seen the tall, thin young man before. The young stranger then took Mr. Pickwick by the arm and helped him to his feet. He led Mr. Pickwick and others to the waiting room. He ordered some brandy and hot water for them all to drink. He then asked the waiter to bring something to put on Mr. Snodgrass' red and swollen eye. Here, students, when young stranger told the crowd that he know Mr. Pickwick very well, again Mr. Pickwick was surprised as he never met the man before. Then the young stranger helped Mr. Pickwick to get up and took them all to the waiting room, where he ordered something for all to drink and asked waiter to bring something to put on Mr. Snodgrass' swollen eye. The drinks came. The stranger drank his very quickly. Mr. Pickwick was very thankful. He began to talk to the stranger and ask him some questions. Before the stranger could answer, someone shouted out that the coach for Rochester was about to leave. Rochester, said the stranger. Oh, Rochester, my coach. I must go. Sorry, have to ask you to pay for the drinks. And he ran out of the room. Here, Mr. Pickwick was very thankful to the stranger. And as his nature, he started asking questions to the stranger. When the drink came for all, the stranger finished his drink very quickly, and before he could reply for the question of Mr. Pickwick, someone announces that the coach for Rochester is ready to leave. The stranger heard it and said, Oh, Rochester coach, I have to catch it. And in a hurry, he left the waiting room, asking Mr. Pickwick to pay for his drink also. So students, here the story ends up in a funny way, as Mr. Pickwick got to face a fight due to his nature of noting down the facts in his notebook, and also the way the young stranger took advantage of situation and got paid for his drink by Mr. Pickwick. I hope the story is clear to you all.